Choose life. Choose light. The last. And that poster says The Last Man. Apparently it's a Disney film. And that other one says, I guess, well, I don't guess, I know that it's an advert for a boys' school. And it says, boys do it better at Burnage. That's what it says. And there's a film there, The Last Man. Why The Last Man? I've no idea what that film is about. But there is an advert there that says, choose the L word, light. So, right. Get this over and done with quickly. This is to the boys, of whom I've witnessed all along, and of which will eventually become men of Gnosis. I'm not being funny, and I'm not high either. Not high. No, I've had a beer. I've had a life and death today. Not high. I'm actually I'm got any weed at all. Scraped right out. And yeah, I'm just normal now. Yeah, I plan on getting high later with some true friends, if they're not too misunderstood by my finalisation on this. It's fucking final. So please pay attention, yeah? I'm going to name drop. I have to name drop because I've name dropped all along. People don't realise it. Well, people do fucking realise this, but not the people who've name dropped. Of course not, no. But this only went on with a few people, man. So yes, I know for a fact at the moment there's a person called Jack hanging out with Steve, a friend of mine. They're both good friends of mine. Sorry about this fucking voice. And down the road there, right now, Friday afternoon, 24th of September. Mushroom picking time, actually. Now, I'm saying this to get everyone potentially who could get themselves into trouble by doing what they're doing out of trouble by readjusting something slightly. I'm not mind controlling you. I'm not manipulating the situation either. It's like if you pull your friend out of the getting hit by an oncoming bus whilst he's on the phone or something, and you pull him to save his life. So yes, you are kind of like physically manipulating that person to get off the fucking path of the bus. They don't turn around at you and say, you fucking manipulated me then. No, it's not like that, nah. And you have to understand this now, because it's gone on beyond so long that everyone else knows, and don't worry about it. It's not the views on YouTube. But psychologically speaking, something has been understood and proven here, and massively fucking proven. So it's not even a conspiracy. This is not a conspiracy, what I'm on about. It's complete awareness and truth. Do you like my shoes? Awareness of people's mindset, which can possibly be dangerous. And if someone is blinded to that fact, or they're unaware of the danger, because they have a certain limit of which they do perceive themselves as being high limits, a high awareness or intelligence level or something, whatever it is that kind of blinds them from, it's actually the light itself, the Luciferianistic light itself that blinds. And I'm not blinding. I'm not blindingly brilliant, not like Loveday. Yes, I did name drop. And just for the last time, yeah? Still recording, yeah? This fascination, so people think, with Loveday, because people have totally disregarded the films, they have neglected to understand that this is not an obsession. It's not. It's an absolute worthless, but worthy and worthless, pitiful example of what I'm on about. And I'm not being too cryptic here because it's just building up a little bit, yeah? And by the way, guys, Jack and Steve, you are men, if you can handle this. You handle fucking Loveday, so... And this alpha thing. This is funny, this. Now, as I've said all along, I'm no alpha. I'm not an alpha. I am no alpha. And I am significantly no beta either. Alright? What am I then? This is where you're going to have to fucking do a little bit of research, innit? And realise what you are too. I'm talking to Steve and Jack, not Loveday. Because, yes, there's alpha potential there, but they're too creative, can't be asked. A bit like me. But with Loveday, I'm the alpha. Fair enough, yeah, okay, yeah, alright, that's fine, you're the alpha, yeah, great, brilliant. Now, this is where it all goes fucking fuzzy as fuck for Loveday, yeah, and his wife too. It's gonna go really fucking blurry. You know why? Because I have full clarification, that I know for a fact that he, as in Loveday, purposefully and decisively chose not to put into the equation within his circumstance for such a long time that he's kind of, he's lied to himself. Yeah, I mean, he was lying to other people first of all, maybe not even knowing that he was doing it, but you know how he is. He always speaks down upon people. He never has a fucking good word to say, or if it is, it'll be something else that just said in such a way. And you've got to recognise this because other people can. And that this is the problem. See, this is the problem. So when he's going back to that paint incident, then you realise that it was that paint incident actually was the last. That was the last. Yeah. As in the last interaction with him. You've got to understand this. There's no getting back. And there's only one person this goes down to, yeah? As in, strictly to. By the way, in the most... non-violent way possible. Because I'm not 3D. I'm not like a Loveday. It's fucking horrible, man. For anyone to actually allow this to carry on for this long, right? Because of their allowance is kind of like, it's fooled them, you know, because of the, they're basically hanging on the assumptions, their own assumptions, and the person who tries to control the narrative to not very good effect by trying to physically control the narrative, yeah, by inhibiting certain things to be spoken, no matter how wacky or way out that they are, how conspiratorial that you think that they may be. When there's actual solid evidence, there's no conspiracy, like I said, and people know what I did, and I'm not going to have to fucking rub people's noses in this, are I? What did you do? Alright, at the time, I knew that they were up to something no good. And I knew they were part of an organisation, yeah, which I found out, and which I proved. And also, it went on for that long that they've actually blame shifted, that's right, onto a collective of independents, CULT-ists, and free zone CULT-ists all around the world. And then, do you know what they did? Literally, quite literally and simply, and I have the evidence to show. They don't get too fucking, oh, what's he on about? He's fucking high as fuck. Don't, because that'll make you look stupid. It will. It will make you look really fucking stupid, considering how intelligent people are supposed to be, or reckon that they are. And it's not even emotional intelligence, yeah. It's just fucking simple facts. Facts, and in not a very long space of time either. I mean, it's just like a matter of, it did kind of boil up to the climax, so to speak, which has been extended. Everyone loves a good extended climax. For years, you know, still in the throes of it, in a way. Observationally and perspectively. Now, just because Loveday has chosen to select what to acknowledge and what not to for his own purpose of self-evaluation, self-fulfillment, and generally not regarding anyone else as a human or as human as him, more of an appliance or a fixture or a tool. This is how he views people, and this is why he thinks he's such an thinks he's the most intelligent man in the world. Now, you've got to understand again, right, this Loveday character, I'm not obsessed by him. It's just that he's obsessed with himself. I'm not obsessed by anything, really. I'm not. Just trying to bring attention to this, how crucially difficult and dangerous that this is, because that man thinks so. It's a weird blend of. He knows he's fucking shit. He knows that he's a goblin. Yeah, he knows fully well, but he knows also that he's such a goblin that he's actually got some sort of strength in that, being a goblin, if you know what I mean. It's like, it's very strange how he has come to this conclusion, which he's not told you, by the way. He's not going to tell you. And even the way so he's going to treat everyone totally different, especially he's going to treat, because the person the other day said, oh, well, you know, they're really nice, there we go. Of course they're going to be really nice to you, aren't they? You know, but don't you see through it a little bit? I mean, come on. You know. Anyway, this is non-violent communication, yeah. And it's bigging up Jack, Rowe, and Spandex, these Spandex, yeah, because they're brilliant. They're masters of their own significance, and they're potential alpha. They could be alpha, yeah, but they don't want to be. They choose not to be. A bit like me, yeah. Now, with Loveday, it's a different story there. Fair enough, yeah, okay, cool. That's all right, man. Fucking chill out. Same with the other two I have to mention as well, because they're, most of all, I've got to say, out of the three of them, yeah, you know, the three people who would honestly shock each other with their commitment of how weirdly committed they were to do what they did. Whether it been known to them at the time, knowing that they were doing it or not. Enough time has gone on now with anyone, even a really, really stupid person could just glance at this and see what's going on. And just because people choose not to and choose to ignore doesn't mean that it hasn't gone on. Doesn't mean that people are not affected. Doesn't mean that people are not in pain if you ignore. Have you got to understand this? You have to. Because otherwise, you're going to be gremlins, not divine masters. Loveday is a gremlin, yeah? An alpha gremlin, yeah, alpha gremlin. Because that's all he knows how to be, yeah? Now, Jack Rowe and Steve Spandex both have the capabilities and full potential to become divine, aware, Sigma males. I'll put it this way, that's a lot better than alpha. Well, you know, it's on par. In fact, I'd say it's better, to be honest with you, because I'm one as well. And if you thought I was going to stop then you'd be mistaken. Just give me 5 more minutes, yeah. I'm on. There's my mate there. There's Leon. I'm still waiting on him, man. I'm still waiting. I'll ring you in a bit, yeah? I'll ring you in a bit. I'll ring you in a bit, yeah? Nah. It's still fun, yeah. Oh, fucking hell. Anyway, so I'm not being sketchy or anything. This is serious, this. If anyone wants any reminding of what has happened, yeah? And without at all even going conspiratorial, what has happened here is someone has felt entitled, whether it be by their own entitlement or just by their own delusion, to construct and keep up particular narratives of which obviously are kind of are more bent and crooked towards them and are toxic, detrimental to others. And this has been fully witnessed, yeah? I'm not being cryptic. So, before every single person in the world becomes not so much an enemy, but becomes worthless. Really, because it's got to that point where it is like dealing with robots, you know. When your expectations or my expectations of these people is that they have the full potential to understand, yet they still don't, because of residual benefits. Like I said, this is a non-violent communication, right? Something needs to be said though, and it needs to be clarified to people that I'm not obsessed by Loveday. The fact is that he was there all along with this. The reason why I went down to smash his fucking head in instead of smash his door in was because he wasn't listening to me, and I had so much proof and clarification of what I was on about was right. Yeah? Which has been proven, by the way. So don't try and say fucking, how do you know? Because this is what he will do. He literally will. He's like he'll go like a cartoon. He'll just say, and you've got to know these things that he says, that he'll come out with. He's like, he probably goes so far as like, he shouldn't have thrown paint on me. What do you mean thrown paint on you, Loveday? I mean, this is how delusionist he is, yeah? And this is what people don't realise either. And he might be fucking great to an extent. How the fuck do you think that? I don't know. I really don't know. I mean, where is that's right, the point of reference, the reference point in a person's mind who has the capability of realising, but is not quite there yet because of the subtle persuasions of another person's continuation of their reason. Now, the reason of my continuation has been made public, yeah, for years, you know that, yeah, whether you've looked at them or not. There's people out there, funny enough, that do know this. And whether you like to dismiss this fact or not, it's just really up to your own delusion as well. But I know fully well that I've been sat here, or standing up here, on the A6, yeah? 1019 Stockport Road, Manchester, saying all this and that, and doing stuff that Loveday wouldn't do, or even any alpha or beta would do. In fact, not many people would do what I've done, yeah? None. Actually, there's no one. And you've got to understand this, that this is significant. It really is significant. And not to be lord it over anyone or be seemingly trying to show off and be better than the next person, right? I'm not. You've got to understand this, because I'm not an alpha. The people, all the alpha narcs around me, as in the three, in their own head, alpha narcs, I've named them before, so. The other two, I've named them as well, you know, in films. They're actually forgiven. They're forgiven. Do you know why? Still recording? Yeah. William Topping and Elizabeth Six, Trace Elizabeth, are both forgiven. And they both shock each other, actually, with the levels of what they did. But they're forgiven as equally as each other, because of the fact that they have the qualifications, they have the actual paperwork to reason their choices, yeah, and that is, it does boil down to mental issues, mental health, yeah, and they have, they literally do have paperwork, you know, to diagnose their quirkiness. Loveday, on the other hand, doesn't. Now, it doesn't. No, he's not bipolar. He's not. Well, he hasn't got any diagnosis for this, unless he has, and he's not telling anyone, which is a bit fucking weird, as well. Like whether these other two people should disclose this to anyone that they meet, first of all, or not, is up to them, really. You know, it's whether this should be an issue or not. It's as dangerous as not telling anyone that you've got AIDS or something before you engage with in unprotected sex. You know, with the other person having no knowledge that you've got AIDS, but you do, you know fully well, type of thing. It's a bit like that, because they have paperwork, yeah, and it's proven, factual. It's actually in the records, yeah. And with this in mind, you'll have to acknowledge that Loveday does not, unless we don't know about it. He's not classified insane. He's not got mental disorder, has he? Even though that he has, yeah. It's not as the other two have kind of got themselves get-out clauses, yeah. Even though they're quite shocking. If you know, and on this, by the way, this is not like by in any way trying to become friends with them again. I do not want to know them, but they got to know that I'm not their enemy, as much as they thought they were an enemy to me. But I'm not, and I don't even think about them, really, to be honest with you. And I hope they'll be all right. But yeah, because they've got family and stuff, it should be considered that they did have a reason to do what they did, and that reason is in written qualifications of mental state by a doctor, GP, or whatever, psychologists, and things like that, yeah, to certify this. I'm pleased as well to actually say, yeah, you're right there. Yeah, I've got quite a lot of evidence, quite a lot of qualifications there in the way of mental health. Loveday, on the other hand, hasn't got fucking, unless he's not telling us again. No. Now, this is really important, yeah? So people can, if they're not too stupid, if they haven't turned off, they will have to sort of, the Asperger's or the autistic thing has to come into play, yeah, definitely. So it's pretty good that Steve is half autistic, and possibly Jack as well, because if you weren't, people would definitely look at you differently, right? So this is the reason why all this autistic shit got brought up in the first place. It's the universe's way of solidifying this notion of commitment, and it's been hinted to and expressed by people, whether consciously knowing fully well what they're saying or not, having a clue what they're saying, what's coming out of their mouth. And it's only up until a point where they actually fully realise of what's been done and what they've said, what they've actually engaged themselves in. So yeah, it's pretty lucky that there's a Aspergered. Now again, yeah, you have to understand that if this Loveday character, which he told me, first of all, that's the first thing he said, was that how autistic these people were. And I was like, what do you mean? And I thought, why the fuck is he saying this? Like, of course it's behind their backs, yeah, just to me. And I thought, you're the fucking autistic one, you fucking gremlin. So yeah, I didn't believe a word he says, which is a good thing. You should not believe a word that man says. Not that I want to tell you what to do or what not to, but discernment is good. Discernment is definitely a good idea with this man. And that you've also got to know is that passivity or just nodding in agreements, actually thinking inside, I know he's wrong, but I'll just nod just because I don't want to yag. That gives him, that to him, that agreement or the passivity, that's fully blown go ahead with whatever he's thinking. It backs him up, even as subtle as it may be to him, yes, because that's what he's got to grab onto. You've got to understand where this man takes hold from. And I'm not slagging him off too much, am I, in this video? Right, next video is going to really rip into Loveday and show people out there the reason why I'm seemingly obsessed by this character, when all along it was him that involved himself, yeah? I fucking never ever want to speak to him ever again. If I see him, I won't speak to him. He can say anything he wants to me, and remember, this is non-violent communication update. And remind your wife that as well, yeah? Remind your fucking... Remind your woman of that too, yeah? And for her not to go thinking anything else apart from what is real. And I know it may be difficult for her because so much has been kept in the dark for the purpose of narrative, for the purpose of a person's own selfish narrative, and dismissing, invalidating someone else's raw, albeit quite intense, truth and findings, and the discontinuation of going any further with understanding what they're finding out. Red flag, yeah. And I knew that would be a marker because of what I brought to attention, respectively, to the fucking world. Even though there's no views, don't worry about it. But yes, it did get sent out everywhere to people, yeah. So people do know. And they do fucking know. So don't try and bullshit yourself, because you got to bullshit yourself. by pretending that like this didn't go on when there's the fucking videos to show, and the videos to show from him too, how much he knew about Barry. Enough anyway, enough not to be sketchy, enough to actually consider what a person is going through and what a person is finding out. There's no way he can squirm out of this. The other two can, because of their diagnosis, psychologically speaking, medically speaking. And yeah, that's cool. I mean, if they don't want to go down that route, even though they should, because they do have the qualifications for it, then that will make them look weird. So it'll kind of, well, look more than weird. Yeah, so no one take it out on them, the other two. Like I said, they've got family, and I do actually love them. No, not friends. Don't want to see you again. But it was a ride. It was an experience. They'd learn quite a lot. And the funny thing is, though, I want them to laugh. I want the other two to laugh at this, at my delivery, because I was attacking these people, see, in across the pond, a lot more serious than the narcs around me, you know. And it's funny because, like, I know that the narcs would really find it funny if they could see it from my perspective. They would find it funny knowing fully well who I was attacking, but they did honestly think that I was being personal to them, even though that they personally witnessed the development and the unveiling and the process of what got me to actually be bold enough or crazy enough to speak out loud about it. Yeah, you know, and obviously they could clarify that I'd never been involved with these people. So when it comes to them messing around with the general public and people who have no idea, they're not a member of any fucking CLT or any SS, Secret Society, or any religion or anything like that, right? Or any organisation as such. Not one of these big ones anyway. You know, it's all going. No way, someone rang then. I bet they'll ring again. I bet you they'll ring again. They better fuck off now. I better stop the video on it. Anyway, 33 minutes. Let's get to 33. Why not? It's for a laugh. It's to make people go, who's a Satanist? And then have a laugh then. Yeah.